Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, in his skivvies, because his wife wears the pants, from Long Island, New York, here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Hello, listeners. I'm Jordan Malik. You're listening to the Ask Jordan podcast. This is our 25th episode. Thank you so much for making part of your day. It's an honor to be here. Of all the choice that you have to listen or watch, you've chosen me, and I'm very, very thankful that you've made me part of your life today. Want to let you know that I'm enjoying all the feedback I've been getting. It seems that you guys and gals, are extremely enthusiastic about the format and the questions that are being asked. You know, if you're just listening for the first time, every episode we answer one question from you about selling on Amazon. So if you missed any of our other podcasts, you can go to askjordan.net, where you'll be able to instantly listen or download them, get them on iTunes, or listen to them on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, I do have over 100 videos. It's right around the 100 mark. Some of the videos are just a video version of this podcast. I'm not seen on it, thank God, because of the sight of me, you'd probably puke in your breakfast. But the bulk of the videos are not of the Ask Jordan podcast. The bulk of them are screen captures of me showing you how to make a profit on Amazon, how to make a profit on eBay. So to get to those videos, jordanmalik.com. And then scroll down, jordanmalik.com, and scroll down till you see the YouTube icon. It's like a round icon about, halfway down the page. On jordanmalik.com. And all those videos are free for you. Guaranteed that you'll learn something new. I almost dropped the microphone there. So if you hear me mention a URL in this podcast today, and you're unsure what I said, just go to askjordan.net, and the URL would be typed there right next to the podcast episodes. This is the 25th episode. Look for the link, and you'll see the URLs right underneath the link. Did you know that you can get 7 of my best-selling ebooks if your question is answered on this podcast? So at the end of this podcast, in just a few minutes, I'll tell you exactly how to do that. Our question today is from Sharon. Go ahead, Sharon.
Hi, Jordan. My name is Sharon. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. First, I'd like to thank you for such an informative show, and thank you for giving us your time and knowledge to help us out in selling on Amazon. Now, my question is, I would like to know what are your guidelines for repricing? Like, how long does a product sit at Amazon warehouse not moving before you think of repricing? Or how much do you lower the price to, and how often do you reprice? Hope you could help me on that. Thank you so much. Bye.
Sharon, that's a great question. First, let's get into, before I answer that, I want to talk a little bit about repricing services. There's a good 8 or 10 services that for a monthly fee or fee based on your quantity, based on your dollar volume of sales, will do what's called automatic repricing of your items every day based on parameters that you set. So if you want to be the third lowest price, you program your repricing software to be the third lowest price on Amazon. You can do other things, like you can be inclusive of only certain items. You can be, if the item has a certain sales rank, you can make your parameters different. I have 2 major problems with repricing services, and that's why I don't recommend any one right now. One is, to me, they're not point and click intuitive. When you get a repricing service, software or website, it's kind of very hard for the average Joe, including me or you, to kind of wrap my head around exactly how the service works, because they use these complicated algorithms to determine the pricing, and they ask you, the seller, to enter those parameters that you want. Do you want to include items that are merchant fulfilled? If your item is priced the third lowest, do you want us to compare to 6 items or 3? That sort of thing. So you kind of have to be, I was never mathematically inclined to beyond basic geometry and algebra. So it's kind of hard to wrap your head around the concept. And that's why I kind of tend to enjoy manual repricing when you're looking at the item itself in your seller administration page on Amazon.com. Seller Central, and you're able to look at the item, see what the competition is doing, and reprice it accordingly. So that's the first reason I don't like repricing software, repricing tools. I know you didn't ask that question, but I want to get that out of the way. Along with the second reason is that these repricing tools and repricing software tend to have a degree of errors. I've had the repricing software that I used at one point. I'm not going to mention their name, but they're probably the most popular one. I've had one or two of them. One of them repriced an item at $0.00. I don't know how Amazon actually allowed that, but it actually sold at $0.00. And another repricer repeatedly repriced items that I explicitly told the software not to reprice. And I lost money on those items because the items were repriced at the lowest price. Now, I didn't lose my shirt. I didn't lose tens of thousands. I didn't lose more than $100 over the course of 3 years. But every time I brought up this error to the repricing software owner, he would dance around the subject and say, "Oh, that sounds like a user error. Sounds like you made the mistake because our software doesn't make mistakes." And that's a lie. The software does make mistakes, and when you're accepting terms and conditions for a repricing software, you don't know it. You're just saying, "I agree," but you're really absolving them to any damages or anything. You're basically, when you're agreeing to use the repricing software, you agree not to sue them, or you agree to not hold them responsible for any errors where you're losing money. So let's talk about, to answer your question directly, Sharon, about repricing techniques. When do I reprice? So I'm a little bit of an anomaly, tongue-tied, in that lately I've been focusing on sourcing products where I'm paying $1 or $2 per piece, and you can learn a lot about that at my at a webpage where I talk about liquidation goods at jordanmalik.com/gold, jordanmalik.com/gold. So I'm kind of getting very excited these days about sourcing products for $1 or $2 that I'm turning around and then selling at the lowest FBA price, that's being sold for $9, $10, $12, $15, etc. So my profit margin on per piece is like $5, $6, and I'm only paying $1 or $2 or less. My net profit is $5 or $6 a piece, say $4 to $6. So that's what I've been focusing on recently. But there are items that I will send in that are, of course, I paid significantly more for, and I'm not priced at the lowest FBA price. And I'm very much in tune with what is happening now, where sellers have to wait a little bit longer. For the most part, most of us third-party independent sellers have to wait for these price wars to shake out, where either Amazon.com is a competitor, meaning they price lowest and they've got the most quantity, and you've got to wait like 6 months for them to dry out of their supply, or you're amongst other competitors and Amazon, with or without Amazon, and they've got the same product that you have, and they're also getting into a price war. The key there that I've talked about in previous podcasts is diversification. Make sure that you're not spending $3,000 on one SKU, on one item. That if you're going to be buying inventory, whether you're spending $300 or $3,000, that you're buying a variety of items in different categories, different sales ranks, etc. So what I would advise you to do is that, send your products in to Amazon, price them. If you're going to price them the lowest, that's fine. You're going to be the lowest price on Amazon's via FBA. Price it, but I hope that you're at least making 100% net ROI on that. Meaning, if you're buying the item for $10 and it's priced at $29.99, you're making the $10 profit after all your fees and your cost of goods sold, $10 pre-tax profit. So it's okay to be the lowest price as long as you're making a sizable profit. And I would say do the 100% ROI. Now, if you don't want to be the lowest price, or you don't want to be one of the lowest prices, I would say wait at least 3 months before you even consider lowering your prices. Now, it all depends on how aggressive you are. This is a matter of personal taste. Some sellers out there are very aggressive. They're okay with like a 20% a 20% profit margin, right? Or a 20% ROI, right? So if they're selling an item for, they acquired an item for $5 and they're selling it for, I don't know, $8, and they're happy to get like a 50 cents ROI on it, 50 cent profit. More power to them. I don't know. I mean, they may have a less of a tolerance to wait out the period. But my general rule of thumb is send your products in. If you're not the lowest price, or even if you are the lowest price, wait at least 3 months before you start manually lowering your prices to move the item. Some people can wait 3 months. Some people wait 6 months, and some people wait 9 months. Some people will wait a year. The beautiful thing about Amazon is that there's a lot of sellers out there that are so eager to get the buy box to keep lowering the price, and all these sellers keep lowering the price, and eventually they're out of the product, they're out of stock, and you're the last one standing. I'm going to give you an example. I bought a popular type of cookies. I'm not going to say which one or where I got it from, but it's a very seasonal thing. It happens once a year, and I bought 50 boxes. My family ate a few, so I have 45 boxes left, and I bought them for $4 a box. And there tends to be a lot of copycat sellers who do the same thing. And over the spring, late winter, early spring of this year, 2014, Amazon was flooded with them. And I kept mine here. I didn't send them into Amazon because the cookies are partly made in chocolate, and Amazon doesn't allow chocolate or meltable products in their warehouse from like April through like August or September. So now I'm merchant fulfilling them, but I'm one of the last sellers. And these are cookies with a cult following. So the cookies that I paid $4 a box for, that most other Amazon sellers sold for like, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 bucks max. They all got into the price war. They all sold out, and I'm one of the handful of sellers left. And I just sold a box for $20, and I sold a package of 3 that came to like $76 after shipping, merchant fulfilled. So my profit is 5, 6 times, not 5 or 6 times. Let me rephrase that. My profit is 3 to 4 times what I paid. For the cookies themselves. So it's all about your tolerance and how long you want to wait. I waited to the maximum I could wait, really, because the expiration date is in a few months for the cookies. So you want to wait at least 3 months before you start lowering your prices. When you do lower your prices manually, and here's the instructions on Amazon how to do that. This is a redirect to the Amazon instructions on how to make changes to your pricing file of all your products. Go to bit.ly/APAQF, bit.ly/APAQF, and that redirect is on, on AskJordan.net next to episode 25. And then start lowering your prices by 5%, like every week until the item sells. Okay, so you go in, you download the file template from Amazon at the redirect I just gave you, you change the prices, and you download your prices, you reduce them by 5%, and re-upload your new pricing. Or you can just manually go, you don't have to do all that. You can manually look at your listings and manage inventory, right? Manage FBA inventory in your Seller Central, and reduce your prices by a few cents here, a few cents there. So I would keep reducing your prices every 1 to 2 weeks by 5% until your items sell. But a lot of this is going to be touch and go for you. There is no right or wrong. Some other Amazon quote unquote experts that are out there will say that you should wait 1 week, you should wait a month, you should wait 9 months. There is no one size fits all. It's all about your tolerance to risk, and every product that you have is going to have a different set of dynamics. So it's not going to apply. My suggestion to you is not going to apply to everything, right? What about if you start lowering prices, but the popularity of an item suddenly increases because it's a seasonal item? Like maybe you forgot you've got Christmas ornaments in Amazon, and in July and August you're lowering the price, and September and October roll around and the prices start to go back up. you're going to be kicking yourself in the pants, right? Because you have universally lowered your prices across the board. That's why many sellers still do the time-honored thing of just going through each listing individually. They may have 100 listings active on Amazon. They may have 1,000. They may have 10,000. And they've outsourced to someone to do it for them, hiring a virtual assistant. Or they're just doing it themselves. They're going through each listing and they're taking a look, okay, who's selling this at how much and how much competition, what's the sales rank? I think I'm going to decrease this by 20 cents, or I think I'm going to decrease this by $20. I think I'm going to increase this by $5. But my general rule of thumb is at least price it at the lowest price if you can make a very good margin, meaning 100% ROI. Okay? Or and stick to that price point. Don't get into a price war. Or price it higher than the lowest FBA price. And then before you start touching prices and reducing things, wait at least 3 months for the competition to shake out, and then take a close look at it. Okay? So I hope that answers your question, Sharon. If Sharon, you get 7 of my best-selling ebooks for submitting that question and me selecting it. It's 7 of my best-selling ebooks about selling on Amazon and eBay. They're worth well over $75 total. So Sharon, just contact me at askjordan.net. Click on the little envelope icon in the upper right-hand corner underneath where it says Contact Me. Send me an email so I know where to send your ebooks to. If you, the listener, if you have a question about selling on Amazon that you'd like answered, go to askjordan.net to find out how to submit a question, or just call 516-619 online. That's 516-619-6654. If I pick your question to answer, you'll get all 7 of my best-selling ebooks, just like Sharon did. Total price for everyone else is over $75. They're free for you, and you get to hear your voice on my podcast. While you're there, please subscribe to my free newsletter for Amazon and eBay sellers. I give away a ton of ideas and strategies and examples of what to sell, etc. Go to askjordan.net, scroll down on the right-hand side, and you'll see the you'll see the sign-up form for the podcast. Hey, thanks for listening to the Ask Jordan podcast. We'll see you again in our next episode.